And we've got an opportunity to sit down with LCU Wildcat head coach Ben McLaughlin. Coach, welcome back.
Hey, thank you for having me again. Appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for all the stuff you've done and you're going to do for the program in the future.
Well, it's going to be a lot of Wildcat fun this year. I can assure you that. What we want to do is take a look at your schedule, kind of a week by week breakdown. I think we've got about 10 or 11 weeks until things kick off down in South Florida. Before we get into that, I did want to talk about one of your signees that you had not too long ago, and EJ Stop-Route Scott from right here in Alexandria. So tell me how important it is to pick up a receiver like EJ from the area, but as talented as he is.
Yeah, he's such a unique guy because I actually coached him as a sophomore, and so I
Right.
knew, I knew personally what he does and what he can do, and when a guy like EJ is, he comes with so many positives, and the first one is when you recruit players that come from programs that that they were challenged. That when they get to the college level, they're not going to be scared by the bright lights. They've been challenged. Their Coach Bachman, that staff, 5A football, that district they play in. I mean, it's, he's going to walk in as ready to play college football as anybody that we have. And we've got and we were looking to add some depth at receiver. And so his ability to run and catch and make plays with the ball after he makes the catch, plus I know to be kind of game ready as he comes in. Got some really high hopes for him to help us out this year.
Well, we're looking forward to it, and you hear this over and over and over. As good a kid as he is on the field, he's that good off the field. He just brings quality to the program.
Yep, yes, he does, and so we, and obviously we're gonna talk in a second, but we're gonna have a good 3-week July session here, and him being local is gonna be easy for him to come on in, and so he's
Right.
He's going to be ahead of the game and from a lot of freshmen around the country. And so it's a lot of things are pointing in the right direction for him.
What else can you talk about on the recruiting trail right now? Is there much you can get into? What's bubbling up at the top?
Yeah, no, I mean, so we've had, obviously this is kind of camp season around,
Right.
and we go and we have coaches that go around and help at some of the mega camps. And we had one camp in May and had a good showing, 80 or 85 or so players. About 30 to 35 seniors to be, and then we've got 2 more in July, the July 6th and July 20th, and those registrations are open. You can find them on our Twitter. You can get to our website and find them. But those and those are huge for us. Just if for nothing else, I know it's not when we are inviting seniors to come. We're a little bit different than some of the Division Ones. We're not inviting them to see, or do they run a 4.6 or are they run a 4.7? We're trying to invite them more because I want these kids to come and try us on, and get coached by us, because if we're inviting them, we've already identified them as a high level player. We know that they're a guy that we're going to target. So we want them to come check us out. And so we're going to have 2 of those in July. But our staff has stayed in contact. We've made some good inroads. I think we've been in just about in every school in the state. If we haven't been in there, we've made contact with them. And so I feel like we've gotten a good head start on the 2025 class. And, as we're also finishing up the 2024 class.
Are you having it difficult to go in there with these schools and they're like, where is LCU? And having to introduce yourself, or has that path been laid here in Louisiana?
Yeah, no, for the most part, and every head coach and every has their own, their own way to do it. So there may be a few schools that we haven't been in, but for the most part, Coach Maddox and Coach Charles and Coach Dunn before them, I feel like we've always done a good job of making sure we cover the state. We want to make sure that our roster is primarily Louisiana football players because we're it's one thing that we have that no other NAIA school has in the nation is we have the state of Louisiana. And so we don't want anybody that's, if they slip through the Division I cracks, we don't want them to have to go outside the state. We want to keep them here with the in-state tops and the different ways that we can help them. And so, no, it's been good. It's been more about me trying to get, me going out, introducing myself to some of these coaches, reintroducing. A lot of times I've got a relationship built with a lot of coaches around the state from different places I've been and being at LC. So, no, it wasn't challenging at all. It was, and obviously when you win, it makes recruiting nice. We are now recruiting from a place of, people come and help us sustain as opposed to help build. And so that makes it really nice when you're out there on the recruiting trail.
Well, another thing that does it for you, Coach, I've got to believe, is the way you play in the Senior Athletic Conference. It takes you to a large part of the country, too. We got several trips to Texas this year, and we're going to morph into our season preview starting now. But you've got trips into Arkansas. But, man, you kick things off with a little September 7th tilt down in South Florida in Miami Gardens against a pretty solid St. Thomas team. Tell us a little bit about that game, and then we'll get into a little bit more about St. Thomas. But that's one of those big-time kickoffs to the season.
Yeah, I know Coach Maddox was talking to me when in the transition about the schedule, and and he was having, in the NAI, much like it is in high school and much like it is in a lot of places, the playoff, every conference or our conference gets one automatic bid. So to make the playoffs, you've got to win conference, but there are some wild cards out there. And so you've got to build a resume. And when the NAI only values other wins, and they call them quality losses against other NAI programs that are good programs. And so St. Thomas, who's been a top 20 program for the last few years, have always been a playoff runner. And so they were looking for a quality NAI opponent, and Coach Maddox was looking for one too. And so, we found each other. And so it's going to be they're obviously a extremely tough opponent. They've had a lot of winning. They're a relatively new program, but, when you're in Miami, and you've got, and they've done a good job from the administration on down of building that program the right way and putting the facilities and things around them. And so it's not hard to see how they kind of rose really quickly. And so what it's going to do is it's going to obviously let us see where we are in our year after following the championship. But at the end of the day, for both teams, whatever way it goes, especially if it's a close game, it's going to go towards helping both of us reach the playoffs. And so that's what those games are good are for. And that's why Coach Maddox decided to kind of go a little bit outside of our comfort zone of, this greater, Louisiana area to get that game.
Coach, you see more and more of that. Look at LSU and USC kicking off. TCU and Stanford, which is a matchup of a couple of your alumni too, as Taylor and Bud Clark will do battle in week one. You're seeing these teams that put that marquee showcase game up front, just because, like you said, if you get a loss in that game, it doesn't set you back too far because you're playing that quality opponent.
Right. No, there's no doubt, and it's so funny. I read an article, USC, I guess, that came out that they obviously tried to get out of LSU, and they were trying to get out of their 20, 25, 26, I guess, whoever they were playing, Ole Miss or somebody like that. And so I guess now with the 12-team playoff, maybe that might be going away here in the Division I ranks. But for us, we've got – we do have a bigger playoff system, but you've got so many teams and so many conferences. And so we have to – finding a good quality non-conference NAIA game just goes a long way because, like this past year, we had our conference was a 3-way tie for first. Right. And because we only had one automatic bid, 2 teams, Ottawa of Arizona got left out with 1 loss. And
that's crazy.
I know you talked to their head coach and he would, because there has to be some system and it's very subjective. And so everybody in our conference is looking for some game that you can play to help boost your resume. And so that's what this is. And I know our guys, we're going to leave on Thursday morning and we're going to go to Tallahassee and stay Thursday night in Tallahassee and then finish the drive on Friday. And so try to at least split it up so our kids can have a little bit of rest.
Just don't stop in Gainesville. That's all.
We'll be going right through.
Right. Keep going through there. Yep. So, it gives you some good nationwide exposure, and you guys got that because you crawled up into the top 25 towards the end of the year, got a lot of votes, and got the Wildcats on that national stage, and then turn around right into a game like this that further elevates that. X's and O's wise, what do you see in that game?
No, we've listened to, the NAI and a few people around the nation. Some different people do a great job of interviewing coaches. And so we've heard him speak a few times. And I know when you look at their roster, they lost some key players and we did too. So I think it's going to be 2 teams that are really trying to, reestablish their identity because if you're a true program, like we both think we are, we expect to go out there and continue what we've been building, but we're going to have so many players in different spots that are going to be brand new. And so It's going to be probably 2 head coaches and 2 teams that are really trying to figure out what that identity is going to be coming in this year. And so, we've offensively there, and, they're exactly what you think a team out of Miami would be. They're going to spread it out with a bunch of athletes, and they have a lot of great team speed. And defensively, they're very multiple. That we've already kind of broken down a few of their fronts, and they jump in and out of different fronts. And so when you watch film, you can tell when a team is well coached. And they are. And so it's going to be when you play a team like that that's well coached, and it does make it fun. That's what we do this for. And so it's going to be one of those battles that our guys are there. We better be ready, and I think we will be.
So don't expect to see a lot of delayed games in this one.
Probably not. No, it's going to be exciting to watch.
Probably not. Head coach Ben McLaughlin joining us here. We are on our 2024 Wildcat season preview. We've been talking St. Thomas, and that little week 1 matchup down in Miami Gardens, Florida, should be a good one. Coach, that's a 10 o'clock Central Time start. Did I see that right?
That's correct. Yep. Oh, no, sorry. It's going to be noon Eastern, so it'll be 11 o'clock.
So 11 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you'll get up early, keep your same routine for a later game, and, well, that's going to be a magical trip, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to it. Coach, next week we'll talk a little trip into Houston. We'll do that. This is the 2024 Wildcat season preview. Coach Ben McLaughlin, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Doug.